Honor AP, a mesmerizing horse from the very beginning, who captured the imagination of the racing world and proved his potential on the track. A Grade 1 winner, out of a multiple Grade 1 winner, with incomparable looks and an unbeatable pedigree. The speed, the bloodline, the physical. Honor AP. New for 2021, only at Lane's End.
Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer, the DRF race of the day for Saturday, January the 23rd, one of the world's richest races. Let's throw up the field for the Grade 1 $3 million Pegasus World Cup Invitational. We're going 1 1/8 miles. Our coverage is presented by Lane's End, 15-time leading stud farm in North America. They are represented by a major contender in this race in Code of Honor. You can download free formulator past performances for this race on the Race of the Day event page at drf.com. Access them. Handicap along with us is K Nix Go, the number 4 for real.
I guess maybe we'll find out in this race, Dan. I don't know. If he runs one of his last 3 races, in particular that Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile, I guess he's just going to win. They'll put him on the lead here and see if he can get the 9 furlongs.
You're right about him being on the lead. We throw up the time form U.S. pace projector for this race. You see Knix Go out there on the lead. It's not like he's the only speed in this race. Sleepy Eyes Todd has shown speed in route races. Independence Hall is a fast horse. Mr. Freeze and Tax have speed. It's going to be very interesting going into the first turn how much some of these other jockeys want to use their horses lest Knix Go gets loose on the lead.
Yeah, there's other speed in the race, Dan. They don't have his speed. If he wants to lead, he has it. And just going back to that Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile, and again, maybe he won't run that race in this spot, different track, longer distance, all those things. But if anybody tries to go with him, they'll probably get the complexity treatment that he got in the Breeders' Cup, because that's a fast horse too. And he tried to go with Knix Go in the Breeders' Cup, and he just couldn't hack it.
Number 1 is Sleepy Eyes Todd. And this is just a cool horse. He's so versatile. He's good sprinting. He's good going long. He won the Charlestown Classic at 1 1/8 miles around 3 turns. He's won his last 2 starts going 7/8 around 1 turn, including this race, the Grade 3 Mr. Prospector. This is a nice performance. He beat some good sprinters in here. You've got Firenze Fire, Mind Control. Those are Grade 1 winners. You see Sleepy Eyes Todd get to the outside. He wants it.
Yeah, I just like this performance, Dan, because it just showed his versatility. He seems like the kind of horse you can just do whatever you want with. The pace was pretty fast in here. So he just, sat off it. He wasn't outrun. He just sat off it on the inside, got his lane in the stretch, and denied a pretty good horse in Firenze Fire there to win it. I just like his form overall. This is a pretty good test for this horse. I know he's won at 9 furlongs before, that Charlestown Classic, but that's a 3-turn race where he was able to get to the lead. He is not getting to the lead in here. I don't think that matters. I think he can race without it, as we just saw, but he has to show that he can run his best race without the lead going this far.
But I think he can work out a good trip. A nice inside post position with that short run into the first turn. He should save valuable ground, as should the 2 Coastal Defense, who I think is an underrated horse. Maybe they're shooting a little high with him, but he's a lightly raced 5-year-old that's done some good things. I thought he had a little bit of a trip in the Fayette 2 starts back. It was kicking on in the end. And last time out in the Clark, it was kind of one of those off slow, mid-move races. I think it's better than it looks on paper.
I didn't think he ran poorly last time either. I agree with you. I think he's improving, and maybe improving at the right time. He's a lightly raced horse. This is not supposed to be easy for him, and I don't think it will be easy for him, but he's going to be a price in this race, and I could certainly see him taking another step forward.
The 3, Independence Hall, a very exciting 2-year-old. He won the Grade 3 Nashua with a triple-digit buyer. He came down here last year with a lot of hype in the Florida Derby. He didn't run very well that day. He's had a couple of sprint races now. I have a feeling he's rounding into 4, Mike, but I wonder if he's ever going to run back to that Nashua.
I wonder that too, and I think that's the real question for this horse. But I'll tell you what, if you told me that you wanted to give him a shot in this kind of a race at a big price, I don't think I would argue too hard with you, Dan. He was really good early on. I thought he ran, really well in the Sam Davis at Tampa, even though he didn't win that race. The Florida Derby wasn't great, but, he was 4 wide around the track that day. I'll give him a little bit of a break for that race. He's 3rd off the layoff. He's stretching back out, and he might fall into a trip.
Here's Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile winner K. Nix Go wiring the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile. Let's watch that effort right now. He went fast early. He put Complexity, the other pace setter, away. He goes down to the wire, pretty much geared down the last 100 yards or so. It's yet another big effort for this horse. He was a good 2-year-old, a Grade 1 stakes winner. He sort of lost his way. He was transferred to Brad Cox. 3 starts for Brad Cox, 3 runaway wins. I wonder, though, if he just loves Keeneland. I mean, his Grade 1 win at 2 came in the Breeders' Futurity. His last 2 big wins came at Keeneland. Yes, he does have that big win at Oaklawn Park, but we'll find out if he could travel a little bit here.
No, that's actually a good point. I was more worried about the 9 furlongs for him to see if he can carry it. Listen, it's not like the 3 races for Brad Cox, came out of nowhere. As you mentioned, he was a Grade 1 winner as a 2-year-old, and he actually ran really well in the Breeders' Cup that year as well, when he was second at a huge price. But for whatever reason, I guess Brad Cox turned this horse around. His last 3 races are giant. He's going to be on the lead in here. We'll see if he can take him all the way.
Jesus' team is just another underrated horse. He was a well-beaten 3rd in the Preakness, but he danced a lot of dances last year with some success. 3rd in the Jim Dandy. We just saw him rally to finish 2nd in the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile. He finally got his win. They dropped him into the Claiming Crown Jewel last time out over course and distance. Now, I guess this is what's known as winning ugly.
Yeah, he works pretty hard here at a very short price to get it done. But at the end of the day, he does get it done. He did what he had to do. The race came back relatively fast. Listen, I don't love him in this race. I can see him, sitting it out a little bit and making one run to get a piece of this thing. And I think if you like him, you'll do better than the 8-1 morning line.
The number 6 is Kiss Today Goodbye. This one will be ridden by Mike Smith after a win in the Grade 2 San Antonio at Santa Anita. Let's watch that race right now. Kiss Today Goodbye, down on the inside, turning for home. It's got work to do at the 3/16 pole, Mike, but he gets to the outside, and he's going to beat the 2020 Pegasus World Cup winner, Mucho Gusto, and a pretty promising horse in Idol.
Yeah, I thought this horse ran pretty well in this race. He got a really good trip, Dan, sitting it out early, saved all the ground. The horses that are going to run 2nd, 3rd, and 4th were kind of, all racing each other in front of him. So he just, had a really good trip to come and overtake them. On the other hand, I thought he ran well in that race. I thought he ran well 2 starts back when he won that allowance race. I feel like this is a horse who's headed the right way. I spent a lot of time trying to talk myself into him. I wanted to pick this horse.
The number 7, Tax, looks like a really intriguing, sharp horse, good post position where he can get out of there and work out a stalking trip. Didn't need a stalking trip last time out in the Harlan's Holiday. His first start since the first Saturday in May. He went right to the front in here. I thought the inside was the place to be. It wouldn't have mattered if he rode the crown of the track the way he won. He beat some decent horses in here, and he never got out of a jog.
Yeah, he crushed this. I agree with you that it feels like he had some advantages in here, but that's how you want a horse like him to win. He'd always shown a lot of promise. He came back off of a pretty long layoff in that race, and they just did what they were supposed to. They put him right on the lead, and he buried that field in a really fast time as well. I really feel like he took a big step forward there. Danny Gargan can do no wrong with his horses down here at Florida. This is a very dangerous horse in here.
And I think Danny Gargan's managed this horse well. Remember that he was 4-1 in this race last year, and he lost all chance, leaving the break with a stumble. Then he just underperformed in the Oaklawn Handicap. They put him away. Maybe the time off has done this very promising horse some good. Here's the 8, Harpers First Ride. He's the Mid-Atlantic's best handicap horse. Here's his most recent start, the Native Dancer Stakes at Laurel. Now, Cordmaker on the white cap took a good run at Harpers First Ride on the turn. And Harper's First Ride, as he does, it seems, every time he runs against Cordmaker, at least in their last 5 appearances, flicks him away. Harper's First Ride won the Pimlico Special. He is a versatile horse. You can put him on the lead. You can take him off. But this, by far, is his toughest test to date.
It is, but, I'm not going to knock this horse. His form has just been really good, especially for his last 5 or 6 races. He just shows up every time. The distance is no problem for him. He can get any kind of a trip in a race. Listen, he got a perfect trip when he won that race we just watched. But you know what? When that horse came for him, he made it look pretty easy in there. I was impressed with that win. I like this horse, and I can see him getting a piece of this.
The number 9, Last Judgment, a last-minute entrant off of a week's rest. He just won this race, the Sunshine Classic for Florida Breds, and he won it easily. They put him on the lead. They left him alone, and he made them pay in the lane. By far a career best buyer, a 103 in his second start off the Michael Maker claim. But again, a last-minute addition to this field after True Timber was withdrawn earlier in the week.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say about it, Dan. He won that race very easily. He was, to me, we did the video preview for that race. He was a hard horse to take because he looked like a closing sprinter, stretching out around 2 turns in that race. And Jose Ortiz, I guess, took care of that notion. He put him right on the front and he wired the field with a triple-digit buyer. He can't wire this field. I find it hard to believe that he could sit off it and outfinish all of these horses. But listen, he ran a very fast race last time.
Mr. Farish and Lane's End will be rooting for the 10 Code of Honor, the winner of the 2019 Travers, and kind of an up and down 2020, Mike. He got off on the right foot, taking the Grade 3 Westchester, and then I think he had some trips and circumstances in some of his races. The Met Mile, the Whitney, the Kelso, a race where there was no pace in a short field, the complexity was able to get loose. I think you could make excuses for all 3 of those races. The Clark handicap looked like it was going to be his spot. And I thought he got the right trip under Johnny V. He just couldn't get there.
Agreed. I love the ride that Johnny V gave him in the Clark last time. And listen, at the end of the day, I was disappointed that he couldn't get there at the end and he settled for second best. I agree with you that overall, a pretty disappointing 2020 is probably not as bad as it looks because his Westchester was really good and his Met Mile I thought was really, really good. I think he was unlucky not to win that race last year. The problem I have with him, Dan, is I didn't like his Whitney. I thought he was bad in that race, and I didn't like that he didn't win the Clark last time. And those are his 2 9-furlong races. I just wonder if this is a horse who really wants to go this far anymore. I know he's a Travers winner. I know he's a Jockey Club Gold Cup winner. But last year, anyway, his best races were going shorter.
It's a good point. I guess the Whitney I'm willing to forgive simply because they just weren't coming back to improbable. It just seemed like there was no pace. Tom's Day Tom missed the break. Code of Honor tried to get into it. Code of Honor did no running in that race. But I'm willing to say that maybe the pace worked against him. Johnny V rode Code of Honor last time out. He's got Mr. Freeze in here from post position 11. Mr. Freeze has run some big races at Gulfstream. He won the Gulfstream Mile in 2020 with a 107 buyer speed figure. Now, he hasn't come back to that race since, but he has actually run some decent races at 9 furlongs, which was a distance I always thought was a little far for him. Again, a little bit of a mid-move last time out. Got tired in the Clark, but I thought all in all, he did some running in that race.
Yeah, I agree. We'll see what happens here. It's also worth pointing because you're right. He ran a big race and a fast race in the Gulfstream Mile last year, and he also ran really well in this race last year. He was under heavy pressure on the lead in that race and lasted for second. So maybe he just really does like this track. I don't love his recent form, Dan, but I could see him running better in here.
Tough outside post for the 12 Math Wizard, winner of the 2019 Pennsylvania Derby. Beat some good horses in that race at a gigantic price. No match for Tax last time out. Maybe Tax had the run of the race. It was his first start off a little bit of a layoff. Math Wizard, however, has to run a lifetime best.
He does. He's run some good races in the past, and he is a Grade 1 winner, but he needs to run the race of his life, especially from post 12.
Let's take a look at our top selections for the Grade 1 $3 million Pegasus World Cup Invitational. You're going with Sleepy Eyes Todd. Cozy inside draw, sharp, consistent, reliable horse.
He is. I didn't really know what to do, Dan. I know that I wanted to take a shot against Nick's Go. I'm going to make that horse beat me at Gulfstream Park going 9 furlongs. Maybe he'll do it at a short price. I wanted to try to beat him, though, and I was kind of torn between Tax and Sleepy Eyes Todd. I like this post position for Sleepy Eyes Todd, and I think he's going to fall into a trip.
I really respect Tax in this race. I picked him second. I think we're going to learn everything we need to know about K-Nick's Go. Is he for real? Can he go 1 mile and an eighth? These are the questions we will find out because it looks like he should be able to get to the lead. And I think if he does, he might make them pay on a track that can be speed friendly at times. 147.10 for Mike, 47.10 for me. Grade 1, $3 million Pegasus World Cup Invitational. DRF's coverage of the Pegasus World Cup presented by Lane's End.